Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Langer at the Mike Montreal Canadiens post-game show. This game 2 post-game show of the Stanley Cup final. And the Montreal Canadiens, after outplaying the Tampa Bay Lightning for a large part of that hockey game, they just that last second, literally last second goal by Blake Coleman at the end of the second period. And that's just what the hell are you doing type of giveaway, or just confusion between Jeff Petrie and Joel Edmundson. Joel Edmundson tries reversing it off the boards with the forecheck or following him, and Andrei Vasilevskiy is right there to read it, banks it on off Carey Price, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Habs also ran into another really, really good goaltender whose name is Andrei Vasilevskiy, who stopped 42 shots after getting only 19 shots in game 1. I think 19, whatever it was. Yeah, I think it was 19. He gets 43 shots. Habs fire 43 friggin' shots. They outshot Tampa in every single period. 13-6 in the first, 16-7 in the second, 14-10 in the third. They only score one goal. And I'll tell you here's another difference in the game. Obviously, the giveaway by the misplay between Weber, Sherratt, and Danault at the end of the second, which leads to the turnover. And Sherratt, I don't know why he pinches on Blake Coleman, or Barclay Goodrow, I think it was. Yeah, on Barclay Goodrow, when there was a 2-on-2 rush. So what are you pinching for? Just stay in your position, block the shot, get your stick on the puck. That's it. There's 2 seconds left. And then, so that's one. And obviously the missed bank that ended up on Andre Palat's stick and in the back of the net. Those were obviously key plays in the game. But here's the bigger reason why the Canadiens lost. They have Ryan McDonough, high sticks, Philip Danault, double minor. I don't know if the nose is really bleeding. Might have been bleeding a little bit from his nose, but it was a pretty bad high stick. 4-minute power play. 4-on-3 for the first minute, 30 seconds, whatever it was. So a good amount of 4-on-3 time. Cole Caulfield's not out there. Instead, it's Shea Weber, Eric Gustafsson, Tyler Toffoli, Nick Suzuki. All okay, except why is Shea Weber out there? Why is Shea Weber out there on a 4-on-3 and not Cole Caulfield, who has 2 overtime winning goals in the regular season at 3-on-3? And now this would have been an opportunity for him at 4-on-3. Why is Cole Caulfield not out there? And even worse, so they're set up just like in the 5-on-3. By the way, I'm going to game 3 at the Bell Center. So honestly, I don't really care. At this point, I'm going for a Stanley Cup final game, the first one in my life, the first one at the Bell Center ever. I'm excited for that. Don't get me wrong. And I will have hopefully erased the memory of this hockey game by that time. But again, going back to this game, though, 4-on-3. Caulfield's not out there for an extended amount of time. Caulfield's not out there. And even worse, Tampa Bay, who didn't score on the power play tonight. Braden Point didn't score. Kucherov didn't score. So Habs shut down were much better. And it wasn't even Danault's line on that line. And I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here, but still. Habs, great job killing off all 3 penalties, one of which was a Yoel Armia high stick, which means, and Lehkonen was hurt because of a really dirty, dangerous play by Sergachev. And the Habs survived and they killed it off. Tampa 0-for-3 on the power play. Habs got 1 power play goal. Sure, it was a Nick Suzuki backhand pass that somehow found its way between the legs of Vasilevskiy. But anyway, I digress. So 4-on-3 with no Caulfield. And just like there was a 5-on-3 in the Leaf series of game 6, where it's of the 5 guys on the ice, I forget who exactly it was, probably Petrie and Weber and whatever, you had 2 guys in the corner below the goal line. You had the 2 defensemen at the blue line on the boards and 1 guy in the middle. Collapse the box. Collapse the triangle. Friggin' collapse it. The Tampa Bay Lightning, even on their second power play. Okay, you could say Kucherov and Braden Point and Steven Stamkos and Victor Hedman are all more talented hockey players than Nick Suzuki and Tyler Toffoli and Cole Caulfield. Maybe not by much when it comes to Caulfield and Suzuki, depending on what they turn into. Right now, you could say, yeah, absolutely. There's more talent on that Tampa Bay power play and the Habs power play. But still, they collapse the box. They take the time and space that they have. They create deception. Fake shot, pass. Look like you're going to shoot, pass. Look like you're going to pass, shoot. That's how Tampa is so good on the power play, and the Habs still managed to kill it off. But on their own power play, where it's 4-on-3 for an extended amount of time, just like on that 5-on-3 that the Habs had, two guys, like I said, two guys below the goal line in the corner, two guys at the blue line, and the centerman just the bumper in the middle of nowhere. Same thing here, 4-on-3. Weber on the left side of the blue line. Gustafsson on the right side of the blue line, at the blue line along the boards. Suzuki and Toffoli in each opposite corner. Like, hello? Take the time and space that you have, collapse the box, go for a dangerous chance instead of lollygagging to the outside. And that was the difference in the game right now. Because if the Habs break the ice there, score 1-0, we know how good the Habs are in these playoffs when scoring the first goal. They have won all but one game when scoring the first goal in these playoffs. Sorry, two games. Game 2 against the Leafs and Game 4 against the Vegas Golden Knights. Every other game when the Habs score first, they win. So if they score the first goal there, then imagine, that second period, man, just dominant. And the Cirelli goal was a result of also, again, another turnover. Corey Perry, as awesome as he's been in these playoffs, I don't know what he was thinking with a 3 blue line stretch pass from one boards to the other, but Sergachev intercepted it. And then Tampa led the rush, and the Habs, Armia, Kotkaniemi, or whoever else was on the ice there, Stahl, I think it was Stahl, Armia, Perry, and Merrill, and Weber, Petrie, stuck in their own zone, couldn't get it out, and that's eventually what led to the Blake Coleman goal. And there were 4 bodies in front, 3 white sweaters in front of that. Sorry, not Coleman, the Cirelli goal. And 3 white sweaters were in that shooting lane, and not a single one of them blocked Cirelli's shot. And Price was only able to see it the last second, and at that point, he overreacted with his blocker, and it's right by him. So, yeah. And then, of course, the play of the game-winning goal. Awful turnover in the neutral zone with no time left, reminiscent of the Tyler Johnson goal in Game 3 of the second round of the 2015 playoffs, where Tyler Johnson scored with like 2 seconds left to help Tampa Bay win 1-0 and take a 3-0 series lead against the Canadiens in that second round matchup in 2015. But yeah, sucks. Lightning out hit the Habs 40-36. Who cares? They won. The Habs again, 43-23 were the shots on net. I honestly, I'll get to your comments here in a bit. I didn't like Cole Caulfield's game. I don't like the way Cole Caulfield's playing right now. Sure, he's getting opportunities. He's getting in good shooting spots, but he's missing the net way too often. Caulfield had today only 2 shots on net. Only 2 shots on net, but he missed the net at least 3 or 4 times that I can count off the top of my head. It's like, hit the friggin' net already, you know? Yeah. Again, get to your comments in a second here. Suzuki played a heck of a game. Kotkaniemi played a heck of a game. Suzuki obviously had the goal. Byron, Anderson, love the way they played. Paul Byron, again, is 5'8", 4 hits tonight. Josh Anderson, he had 1 hit tonight, surprisingly. It seemed like he had a lot more hits tonight. Suzuki, by the way, also had 9 shots on net. 9 shots on net. And of course, Lehkonen, Gallagher, and Deneau. Deneau almost broke up that Blake Coleman goal, and he was in charge of that neutral zone turnover. But Lehkonen, even though he took a dirty, dirty hit by Mikhail Sergachev in the Tampa Bay left corner there, or was it the Habs corner? It was the second period. So, yeah, Tampa left corner. He came back and played. I don't know how healthy he'll be for Game 3, but he came back and played in that hockey game, and he was effective. So kudos to Lehkonen on that one. Yeah, just great stuff on the penalty kill. Suzuki, Toffoli, Caulfield, again, they got chances, but again, Caulfield, got to hit the net, man. Got to hit the net. And Price, again, had to make some big saves, but he was the second best goaltender on the ice. I don't think we could deny that tonight. He was the the goals he gave up weren't entirely on him, sure. But yeah. Just seeing if there's anything else I wanted to really mention. Yeah, just the Habs dominant in that second period, like I already said. And Weber, I like the way Weber played. He broke up he broke up an almost breakaway by Barclay Gaudreau. And then there was Suzuki made a really nice pass breakup on a stretch pass to Kucherov. And and then the rest of the third period is the Habs getting shots, pucks to the net, but nothing in terms of getting rebounds. So, all right, let's get to your comments here. Noah C. London, none of Tampa's goals were highlight reel. I mean, it's the playoffs, and that's what's heartbreaking. But yeah, it's the playoffs, and that's how you got to score sometimes. Nor was Suzuki's. Edmundson, what's disappointing, Edmundson, like Noah C. London saying, can't afford to make mistakes like that. And what's disappointing is that Edmundson is a guy who won a Stanley Cup 2 years ago with the St. Louis Blues. And, it would be one thing if it was Merrill or even Petrie making a mistake like that. But the fact that it was the fact that it was Joel Edmundson is that much more disappointing. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because the mistake was the mistake it was. And yeah. Randy, and as long as the Habs don't fret about this missed opportunity, they can still beat them as long as they cut down their mistakes. I mean, the Habs were down 2-1 in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final in 1993 and won in overtime. Obviously, this is a completely different ball game or hockey game, but the Habs have come down from being down 2 games from a 2-game deficit in a series in these playoffs before. So, here they are again, and against a much better team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, yeah. Noah C. Glenn Kucherov, Sergachev need to be watched at all times. I mean, Sergachev is a dirty player. Kucherov is a cheap player. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, they're one of their best players, sure, and the Habs did a much better job containing them tonight. But yeah, just Sergachev, dirty player. Kucherov, cheap player, whatever. Randy N, love the playoff beard Langer. I mean, yeah, it's not as full as I'd maybe like it to be, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting rid of it, honestly, but I'm hoping to get rid of it after the Habs come back and hopefully win the series. But they have an uphill battle to climb, that's for sure. But let's start by winning Game 3 at this point. Randy, and how can I forget to mention another loss on the night? 20,000, 30,000, maybe up to 100,000 people can gather outside in the streets, butt cheek to butt cheek, shoulder to shoulder, during Habs games and after the Habs won in overtime in Game 6 against Vegas. And it was, just Montreal partying it up down in the streets of downtown Montreal. Hundreds of thousands of people. That's okay, but you can't have 10,000 people inside the Bell Center. There are 3,500 fans at the Bell Center tonight. That was cool, I guess, to watch it on the big screen there. But that's just another L. And I think the Canadiens could definitely use the extra support from 10,000 fans in their building. But again, I don't understand. I mean, the science says that there were 71 new cases in Quebec yesterday. I'm going to do a quick look up on what the cases were today. They're becoming harder and harder to find. I mean, here's some news. So Quebec records more than 100 new COVID cases for the first time in a week. And this is from this morning at 11:06, according to CTV. So I guess that's a concern, and that could be a reason why. But still, if there's proof of vaccination and 10,000 people, half capacity, it's like, anyway, that's just unfortunate for the Montreal Canadiens and for their playoff run here, that there'll still be 3,500 fans or only 3,500 fans for Game 3 and 4. At least I'll be one of them, which is I'm excited for. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited for, looking forward to. Which means my Langer at the Mic post game show in Game 3 will be a little bit later than usual. But anyway, 4-on-3, screen the goalie, Randy. I mean, I think the Habs are getting traffic in front of Vasilevskiy, but another problem is that Tampa is also really good at blocking a lot of shots. And just let's see how many shots they blocked. Let's see. 1, 5, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15 shots blocked by Tampa tonight. So That's another issue. Is you have to get pucks to the net and get rebounds there. Randy, again, 4-3 looked like schoolyard hockey, unacceptable. And you mean, yep, pretty much, like I already discussed. Not blaming reffing, but Kucherov gets away with an interference on Armia. I mean, yep, that's just Kucherov being cheap, for sure. Noah Glennon, this was one of Suzuki's best games of his career. He played all 200 feet of the ice. And yeah, like I said, great game by Suzuki. Although I will say this, on the 2-on-1 that he had early in the first period, where he just got the stick, just got poke checked by Vasilevskiy, it looked like there was a passing lane to Toffoli on his left wing there. It really looked like it. And I think he had a chance. But he went for the deke, and Vasilevskiy made a great save, but Suzuki had a chance there. Randy and Caulfield needs to relax and fire on net many shots, but off target. Yeah, like I said, just get the puck on net. That's it. Get the puck on net. Sad faces from Sarah A, who is a Leaf fan, but cheering for the Canadiens right now, or maybe cheering or supporting us Habs fans through this. So yeah, shout out to Sarah A in the comment section. Should not have put 2 D-men on the 4-on-3, as Noah Glennon saying. And yeah, like already discussed, Randy and Palat was one who got his stick caught in the net when Subban had a spinorama in the 2014 playoffs. I do remember that. That was a really fantastically fun goal. I think you want to say it was game 4. But unfortunately, the Tampa Bay Lightning have had the upper hand in playoff moments on the Montreal Canadiens since then. So yeah. Toffoli / Gustafson and Weber on the 4-on-3, ridiculous. Again, this is all Randy. Yeah, like honestly, I don't mind Toffoli. I don't mind Gustafson, but Weber should have been replaced by Caulfield 100%. And I just don't understand why Caulfield wasn't out there. I don't. Randy, and if Montreal plays like this the rest of the series, Montreal can win 4 of the next 5 games. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. They have to score more than 1 goal on Vasilevskiy also. So they have the recipes. They're putting 40 shots on net, sure, but they also have to beat Vasilevskiy. So, yeah. Randy N exactly claps the box. Like I said, seen this all seasons from Montreal. Is this Alex Burrow's fault? I mean, it's definitely partly, yeah, it's on Burrows, it's on Richardson, it's on the 5, or in this case, 4 guys on the ice. Like, figure it out. Collapse. It's almost like the more guys that are on the ice, like 5-on-4, 6-on-5, the better the Habs are at possessing the puck and at getting actual chances, because the Habs actually got some decent looks 6-on-5 to end the game again, but obviously no goal. Is Burrow's fault. Randy, and if scoring is lacking, why not bring in Tatar? Tatar is a... Let me look this up real quick because the numbers are not good. Thomas Tatar, hockey DB. Thomas Tatar is not a good playoff player, just plain and simple. So I would not advocate for Tatar getting a chance in these playoffs. There are 12 points and 40 playoff games for Thomas Tatar in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm not supporting that. I don't agree with putting Tatar in. Maybe in an elimination game, if they're down 3-0 or on the brink of elimination, maybe. But just, and if they still can only get 1 goal on Vasilevskiy in game 3 and game 4, maybe. But yeah, I don't think I would, honestly. Coleman goal broke the Habs back again. All Randy here. I would say it didn't. The Habs still played Tampa in the third period. The Habs still outshot Tampa and still got good scoring chances in the third period. So I kind of disagree with that, because the Habs still played a pretty good third period, but it was Tampa also just playing a full trap style, good defensive hockey that the Habs have played so well with this entire playoffs. So from that standpoint, like it's all like Tampa scored 4 goals in the third period, like they did in game 1, or 3 goals in the third period, whatever it was. But yeah, just obviously was just brutal, that goal. Last season, Habs gave up so many last-minute goals of periods. I mean, yep, pretty much. This is another example of that. Randy and Tampa blocked so many point shots, totally the opposite of Habs. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. Just the Habs had issues getting pucks to the blue line. Let me just look that up here. Let's see the shots by defensemen here. So like I said, Suzuki had friggin' 9 shots. Defenseman Gustafson had 1. Also Gustafson actually only played 10 minutes, which is a lot for his standards. Petrie had shots. Petrie had 5 shots on net. Petrie, I like Petrie's game tonight. Petrie was their best defenseman tonight, all around. Weber and Petrie were their 2 best, which is, not a surprise. Yeah, so Petrie had 5 shots on net. Weber had only 2. Edmundson had only 2. Sherratt had 3. So honestly, more pucks to the net than you'd think from their defensemen, but not enough, clearly, or not enough dangerous chance on the point. Actually, Sherratt had one dangerous one from the point in the second, which was like a bit of a ground ball, but Vasilevskiy made a nice save on it. Tyler Johnson goes offside. What Tyler Johnson goal? Oh, that one in the in over at the with as time expired. I don't remember it being offside, honestly. I'll take your word for it there, Noah C. Glendon. Friend of mine from high school, as usual. Shout out Noah C. Glendon. But they couldn't review offsides back then in 2014, 2015. So it was what it was. Yeah. And the Habs ended up losing in 6 to that series. So, or was it 6? They won. I was at game 5 in that series. So I think, yeah, they ended up losing in 6. Randy and Armia was playing so good. Yeah. Armia back in the lineup for Jake Evans after being flown in on a private jet. I feel like Armia should have played game 1, honestly. I really do. Like they flew him in on a private jet. He took the warm-ups. I don't care if he didn't skate. Evans didn't play a hockey game since game 2 of the Winnipeg series. So Armia should have played. And it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to see Evans healthy and recovered and healthy enough to play. But I still think Armia should have stayed, given that he was flown in on a private jet after that COVID issue he had. Yeah, exactly. Noah's saying no coach's challenge back then. Randy, and backhands are a deception for any goalie. I mean, yeah, but it was a backhand pass. Like that Suzuki goal on Vasilevskiy was just weird. Like it was a floating puck. And I think maybe Vasilevskiy, honestly, it was just misplayed it, misread it. I think he thought that Perry was going to tip it, but when it didn't get tipped, it was like, oh crap. And yeah, anyway. Randy, and a lot of trick plays again by Tampa. Trick plays, just not so much trick plays, just like deception. That's part of hockey. You know, like play, I guess you could say trick plays. I don't know if I'd really call it trick plays, but just, yeah, deception. Kind of like a play action in football or a read option type of thing, you know? In this case, yeah, just looking like you're going to shoot and passing, or looking like you're going to pass and shoot type of thing. So, yeah, and Tampa does that really well in the power play. Randy and Habs played well besides those 2 plays, or Habs played really well besides those 2 turnover plays, which cost the Habs. Exactly. And here is Brother Langer. Silver lining, we've proven that we can outplay the Lightning on the road. Let's keep it up. We're only 4 wins away from Lord Stanley, but you have to get 4 wins before Tampa wins 2. So that's the challenge right now. There's a saying that you're not in trouble until you lose on home ice. I guess that's kind of true. I mean, Pierre Maguire says it, Gord Miller says it, Ray Ferraro, like all those, you know, very smart hockey people say you're not in trouble until you lose on home ice. I don't really agree with that, because if Tampa loses tonight, they still can very well win 1 of 2 games at the Bell Center. So anyway, but yeah, Habs have to find a way to win these next 2 games at home. Just take it period by period, game by game. And yeah, hopefully I will cheer them on as loud as I can. And hopefully the 34,099. Wait, what am I saying? 3,499 others. Oh no, I got dyslexic there for a little bit. 3,499 other fans. I'll make sure that they're cheering just as loud at the Bell Center with me. Us and the Habs come from behind is a tall task. Habs need to lead first. I mean, yeah, like that's especially against this Tampa team. We saw how the Islanders, when they got down 1-0 in Game 7, how much it was a challenge for them to come back in that game. So yeah, it was a challenge for the Habs to come back in this game as well. Good luck, the Bell Center again from Randy. You need to lose your voice cheering for the Habs. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm going to give it my all, guys. I really am, and I promise you that. Brother Langer, again, for 2 whole periods, we kept their shots on goal to a very low minimum. We could stand to gain a lot by tying their sticks up in front of the net a little bit more. I mean, yeah, I think the Habs did a pretty good job at not only limiting Tampa's shots, but also their highest quality scoring chances. And Price was obviously there for the most part. Made a really nice save on Blake Coleman at the beginning of the 3rd period. And yeah, just a couple of other really nice saves early on in the game when he had to make them in the 1st period. But yeah, just to me, it's like you have to solve Vasilevskiy. You have to get more than 1 goal per game on Vasilevskiy. Again, Brother Langer, my brother. Shout out to my brother, of course. Some of our best chances tonight started from the blue line. Too bad those particular chances were too far and few between. That's a good observation. Would you say like the Habs blue line or the Tampa Bay blue line? Because I would say the Habs did a good job winning battles along the corner, and just they have to be able to get more chances on rebounds on Vasilevskiy. And like I said, traffic in front, but that's also a challenge because of how good the Tampa defensemen are. Randy, again, how many goals do you expect Montreal to score at the Bell Center? I mean, hopefully 3 or more, because whenever the Habs score 3 or more goals, that's enough for Carey Price to win. So I hope it's 3 or more goals, Randy. I really do. Because I think Carey Price since 2015 has not lost a game when the Habs score 3 or more goals. So yeah. Randy N, is there a recipe of how Tampa lost games in their playoffs versus New York Islanders or Carolina and Florida? I mean, honestly, I didn't watch a lot of those games, but I saw the Islanders in particular play a very fast game, and they were opportunistic. You saw Beauvillier's goal right off the hop, right off the turnover, jumped on it, nice shot, beat Vasilevskiy, right? You saw just the Islanders, they were opportunistic in that series, and they fed off their home crowd, and they were also resilient because they were down 2-0 in game 6, but came all the way back to win that hockey game. So yeah, the Habs have to be resilient and go for a split on through 4 games and make this a best of 3 series at this point. But one game at a time, one period at a time, one shift at a time. I meant pick plays like basketball. Okay, yeah, Randy. I actually saw the Habs do that as well a little bit. The Habs ran a pick play with Eric Stahl at one point where he kind of won the faceoff, kind of got in the way of Patrick Maroon, which opened up the shooting lane for, I think it was Weber or Gustafson or Sherrod. I forget exactly who. Yeah, goes both ways like that. Sarah A, have fun at the Bell Center on Friday, whether they win or lose. Enjoy and cherish the moment of your first Stanley Cup Finals game. And honestly, that's why I'm going to the Bell Center. I'll be honest, I did spend a lot of my hard-earned money to go to the Bell Center on Friday. But that's why I'm also going to keep working my rear end off this summer, training a whole bunch of my awesome clients. And so it's my hard-earned money that I spent a lot of to be able to experience my first ever Stanley Cup final game, and the first Stanley Cup final game at the Bell Center. Win or lose, I'm just going to enjoy it as much as I can. Randy N, what Benson will you be wearing to the Bell Center? I guess that's what jersey or what attire. I mean, this is my attire that has gotten me through the successes of these playoffs. Carey Price t-shirt from 2008. I got a pair of A Pie shorts, my fraternity from my undergrad, with a nice red maple leaf on it, and a very particular set of underwear, which I've washed. Don't worry, I've washed all this between series. But I don't know. I'm going to have to decide whether I want to keep it going or changing it up after these 2 games. So, yeah. What's called Dixon Automotive Group, Tatar, Romanov, and Cale Fleury. I mean, look, at this point, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Romanov, I don't see Romanov getting into the lineup because that ship has pretty much sailed. He got into the lineup for his 2 games at the end of the Jet series and the beginning of the Vegas series, but I just don't see Romanov getting his spot back in the lineup just because they're going with Merrill, Gustafson, Edmundson, Petrie, Weber, Sherratt. So that's how they're going to keep rolling, and it is what it is. And yeah. Dixon Automotive Group, Tatar, Romanov, and read that already. And again, Brother Langer here once again. The Habs' best chances started as shots on the blue line with a lot of traffic in front of Vasilevskiy. Okay, yeah, just to follow up on his comment from before, and I agree with that. But just have to be there for rebounds, and honestly, just try to challenge him off his pads. Try to send some more off his pads instead of just right at his chest. Randy M, does Merrill deserve to be in the lineup? I mean, Merrill, honestly, is a good penalty killer. I will say that. Merrill is a good penalty killer, and he only blocked 1 shot tonight and only played 11 minutes, 40 seconds. But, I don't think I would have preferred Romanov to be in Merrill's spot this entire playoff run, but I don't think they're changing that anytime soon, unfortunately. Once again, my brother, legend has it, Perry brought a trash can to the dressing room during the intermission versus Toronto. We could use garbage goals, best of which come from far shots with lots of traffic. I mean, look at every single goal that was scored tonight, except maybe the Blake Coleman goal, because that was a nice effort by Blake Coleman, which Philip Deneau almost broke up. But Suzuki goal, garbage goal. Cirelli goal, garbage goal. Palat goal, mistake, lucky, just whatever goal. I mean, he's in the right position at the right time, deserves credit for that. But how often does Jake Edmundson bank a puck off the boards like that? So yeah, got to create your own luck though. Got to be good enough to create your own luck, and Tampa was good enough to create their own luck in this particular hockey game. Gustafsson, so Dixon Automotive Group, Gus is a liability at 5-on-5. I'll give you that, but his puck moving ability is lacking on this Habs blue line, and he is good on the power play, just not alongside Weber in a 4-on-3 situation. Randy N, Noah, Merrill, and Gustafsson will be gone next year. I mean, look, but again, they're trying to win now, and again, like I don't get me wrong, I agree with you guys. And wouldn't mind Gallagher scoring some garbage goals as well. Me neither. And he almost had a couple tonight. He was in the face of Vasilevskiy, of course, on a couple of occasions and almost had a couple of chances like that. But yeah, just Merrill Gustafsson. I mean, look, like I agree with you guys. Romanov, I believe that Romanov should have been in the lineup this whole time over Merrill and Gustafsson, over Merrill at least. But yeah, just at this point, just keep going with Merrill because whoever's in that 5th or 6th spot is playing 11 minutes a night anyway. So, yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going to wrap it up here on this Lanker at the Mike postgame show. Yeah, not a very happy one. But you know what? Again, let's just bring positive vibes, good vibes. Game 3 at the Bell Center. First Stanley Cup final game at the Bell Center. Ever at the Bell Center, because obviously all Stanley Cup final games were at the Forum. And I am looking forward to being there, and I will do everything I can with the crowd to cheer on the Montreal Canadiens. And look at Vegas. They got completely outclassed by Colorado in Denver in games 1 and 2, and then won 4 games in a row to win the series. Now, not to say the Habs can win 4 games in a row necessarily against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but they'll have to win 4 of the next 5 games to win the series now. So, but yeah, as usual, give me a big thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to my channel here on Langer at the Mic as usual. And happy Canada Day, of course. Yeah, happy Canada Day. But let's also bear in mind the First Nations and Indigenous people who we keep finding grave sites and just, bodies at residential schools and all that. So let's celebrate Canada Day, but also let's keep Indigenous people in our hearts and in our thoughts. And yeah, thanks Dixon Automotive Group. I will enjoy the game no matter what. Even if the Habs get crushed, it will just be, I will be able to say that I went to a Stanley Cup final game in my lifetime and or here with a pen, cross that off the bucket list. So yeah, but as usual, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel here, give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike Langer for all 3. I have to start creating more TikToks. I will this summer. Don't worry. But this has been a Montreal Canadiens post-game show here on Langer at the Mic live. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Go Habs, go.